Biggest red flag for each NFL team headed into this upcoming season. I think our biggest red flag is our defense, right? But more importantly, I think our biggest red flag is going to be our pass rushing unit, is whether we can get after the quarterback or not. Obviously, Trey Hendrickson, if he does play, will be great. I think he'll have another fantastic season, potentially a third 17 and a half sack season. But outside of Trey, that's our biggest issue, is where Miles Murphy step up? Will Joseph Asai become an absolute unit, which so far I think he is? Will Cam Sample, be able to be the guy? Like, who is going to be the guy outside of Trey? Will Shamar Stewart even play this upcoming season? That's still on the, table, whether or not that will happen, right? So I think that's our red flag going into the season. If it wasn't for, the Shamar Stewart situation, you could make the red flag being our offensive guards and say, like, hey, will the Bengals offensive guards actually work out? Because, we don't know at this moment in time. But I think the biggest red flag is definitely, for me at least, going to be our defensive line. Bills, big game defense. I will say the Bills did a good job of going out there and getting Joey Bosa. They did get rid of Von Miller, but they still got a really good defensive line. I think their defense is going to be really good this year. Ravens is offensive line durability, which I feel like for the Ravens here, they have a running back playing quarterback. And listen, that's not even a shot at Lamar Jackson. That's a good thing, because that means offensive lines don't have to hold as long, and they don't have to, play like a pocket passer is back there. They can kind of move it around a little bit and give up some, rushes because their quarterback is mobile. So it's actually not the worst case scenario. And yes, it sounds like a shot at Lamar, but it's technically not. It kind of probably is, but still. Offensive line stability with the Chiefs. How the mighty have fallen, Chiefs. It's almost gives me great pleasure to know you guys are now suffering with offensive line issues. Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? Absolutely sucks. Eagles is defensive turnover, and that is true. Listen, whenever you win the Super Bowl, even make it to the Super Bowl, you don't have to win it. You just got to make it there. You're going to lose a lot of pieces on your team. Whether offense, defense, head coaching. The Lions are a great example of that. They lost Glenn and they lost Ben Johnson. Two really good options on their team. And that's just kind of a part of, winning a Super Bowl. You're going to lose options at your coaching or all over. You're going to be pretty much picked apart. Staffing shakeups. Yeah. Like I said, losing Corey Glenn and Ben Johnson, or Aaron Glenn, and Ben Johnson does not help. Matthew Stafford's age for the Rams. Yep. Injury-prone bets. And then for us, they have focus and preparedness. And I think, listen, this offseason, this is why it's so frustrating, okay? And I'm going to go on a rant real fast. This is why it's so frustrating. We start off this offseason. We fire Frank Pollock. We sign Jamar Chase. We sign T. Higgins. That is the most legendary offseason of all time. And even if you want to go farther, we just completed a stadium lease where the Bengals are going to pick up the tab for a lot of the money that the city has to pay for the stadium. And we signed it for 10 years. Like, we did such a good offseason. It's just the Shamar Stewart and Trey Hendrickson situation. I mean, even if you want to go, like, you want to crap on our draft or say our draft was awful, now looking back at it, our draft actually looks pretty good. Like, if you look back at our draft now, it actually looks pretty good. So, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. So freaking frustrating, because everything has been so perfect except for those situations. And, I know, yes, Zach is going to do everything he can to try to fix the situation with the offseason, and try to get prepared to start off the season not 0-3. And we'll see if that works out. But it's just such a frustrating situation. If we would have signed Trey before Crosby got signed this offseason, Trey would not have been a problem. Trey would have been on the... I say that, but I don't know that actually. Because if we would have signed Trey and then Crosby got paid, there's a good chance that Trey would have said, I don't want my contract anymore. And it would have been the same thing as his older contract, where he wanted out after 6 months. So, in all honesty, that might be another thing, though. You sign Trey now, even if you sign him right now. What if once Micah gets paid and once TJ Watt gets paid, he's like, you know what? I don't like that those guys got paid more than me. And he's just like, you know what? I don't want that contract anymore. So I guess the Trey situation, we might be in the same spot right now, except if Trey got signed in February. It might be in the same situation where Trey just says, hey, I don't want my contract anymore because Micah got paid that much or Crosby got paid that much. There's a good chance that that's actually a fact too. But this offseason's just been frustrating. It really has been. And being prepared and staying focused, it's difficult when your top pass rusher is not going to play. And your first round pick right now, Shamar Stewart, he's going to sit out of training camp. He's not going to training camp. He's not going to preseason until this contract gets worked out. Depth and durability. Yes, sir. Quarterback uncertainty. Biggest thing about J.J. McCarthy is him staying healthy. Because he got hurt his rookie season, and if he could stay healthy, I think he'll be good. So there we got the biggest red flags of, I guess, not all 32 teams. These are just contenders, but yeah. Whatever. Guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. It's frustrating sometimes, but peace out.